Michael is about to visit with us for a few minutes. But Michael, before we start, I know that Sunday's race sponsor is near and dear to your heart, and maybe talk about that leading off, and then I have another question for you.
Okay, my mom unfortunately suffered a stroke 25 years ago due to AFib, and September is National AFib Awareness Month, and Michael Waltrip Racing has partnered with Janssen Pharmaceuticals to raise awareness for AFib. 2.7 million people live with AFib, and Mom, unfortunately, is one of those that had a stroke as a result of her AFib. So life for Mom today is very challenging. She's stuck in a wheelchair and isn't able to get up and do or enjoy the things in life that she would like to. And I went to my mom and said, they're going to make a commercial about you, Mom. And at first, as any 87-year-old probably would be, that didn't seem like the best idea. But the more we talked about it, she said, son, if I could help one person not be in a wheelchair because of my story, then it's worth doing. So I'm very thankful for the folks at Janssen Pharmaceuticals for giving me this opportunity to share Mom's story with the world. When she had her stroke, she was put on warfarin to help prevent her from having another stroke, and warfarin was really tough for our family. Mom was in a wheelchair, and there were constant visits to the doctor to get her blood drawn, to test her levels, to make sure she was in a good place. There were dietary restrictions that she had to face and couldn't eat her favorite food. There are medicines today that don't come with those restrictions, and we are just encouraging people to go see their physician and talk to their doctors about those medicines and what might be right for them. So thank you for hearing about my mom, and just realize there's a sweet lady that has made a TV commercial and made a commitment to tell her story because she cares about others, and that makes my heart smile. The story, the race Sunday is the myafibstory.com 400, and I've been encouraging people on Twitter to go to myafibstory.com and upload a photo of them, and they can wind up on my car that I'm racing at Talladega. We've been decent at Talladega over the years, had a chance to win there just a couple of years ago, and I want to try to take all those folks that take the time to upload a photo to myafibstory.com. I want to try to take them to victory lane. I'm not the most tech savvy guy in the world. Literally did it in less than a minute when I logged on to myafibstory.com, uploaded a photo to the website, and my face might be on my car, which is really fun for me. And then second, the most important part of that is Janssen will make a donation to the American Heart Association for every photo that gets on my car. So they've made it even easier. I think you can put a picture on Instagram or Twitter and just hashtag myafibstory, and your picture becomes eligible to be on the car, and they will make that donation. So myafibstory.com is a great weekend story for the sponsor of the race. I'm going to be supporting them throughout September and beyond with racing the car in October at Talladega. So much looking forward to my chance to race again, and really happy to be a partner with Janssen Pharmaceuticals and spreading awareness for AFib.
Thank you, Michael. Certainly a worthy cause. And we were talking earlier. You're always busy, but you've been a little extra busy here the last few weeks. Got a big night coming up Monday night.
Yes.
With Dancing with the Stars, and I know I'll be watching. But talk a little bit about these past few weeks and this experience, and leading up to Monday night's debut.
Well, it's been amazing. I agreed. We got together about 2 weeks ago, and were able to finalize the details of being on the show, and it was kind of challenging because obviously before owning a team is first. Always for me, it's my main focus. It's what means the most to me, and having partners like Janssen and Aaron's and 5 Hour Energy and taking care of their needs is really important. And we looked at this at Michael Waltrip Racing as a way to expand our brand and talk about NASCAR to millions of people that might not know as much about our sport as we would like them to. So the opportunity to go to LA and dance Monday night is something that I'm very serious about, and I can't wait for my opportunity to get on the dance floor with Emma, my partner, But to me, it's bigger than just that. It's more about the sport and continuing to try to grow our team, who we are, to the millions of people that will be watching Dancing with the Stars. It's really interesting. When I walk into the coffee shop near my apartment in North Carolina, every day I go in there, there's people sitting there, and I figure a few of them know who I am because I'm kind of tall and I'm a race car driver and I'm in North Carolina. And everybody just smiles and I get my coffee. But now when I go there, those people that I thought knew who I was are all like, golly, can't wait to watch you dance. So those are things I never thought I'd hear, those words. It's like Dale Jr. said on Jimmy Kimmel the other night. They said, what do you think about Michael dancing on TV, on Dancing with the Stars? He said, could you run that back through here one more time? I still haven't really got my arms all the way around that. And that's fair. I never have been a dancer. I never really got into it that much. But over the last 2 weeks, I've taken a crash course. And the good thing for my partner, Emma, is the sheet was blank. There weren't any bad habits to unlearn because I didn't know anything about ballroom dancing or the cha-cha or the rumba or the samba. And I've learned a lot about those lately. And the thing that I know for sure is when the music starts and it's time for me to start dancing, I can't take 3 or 4 steps and say, okay, hold on 1 minute. Listen, I mean, it's live and it's real. It's just like a NASCAR race. When they throw the green, you got to go.
And you will go. We'll take questions now from Michael. He's available here for about 10 or 12 minutes. Start over here with Stan. State your name, affiliation. 1 question per person, please. Go ahead to the left.
Yes, sir. Stan Creekmore with CompetitionPlus.com. So, Mike, is it going to be more stressful for you to do your first dance on live television than it was for you to run your first sprint car race?
Yeah, I think so, for sure, because in 1985, when I started racing NASCAR Sprint Cup, it was at Charlotte in the Coke 600. There was some pressure that day because I never will forget, my brother was racing for a win. My previous landlord was Kyle Petty. I was living with Richard Petty, and Bill Elliott was trying to win $1 million. And I just wanted to blend in somewhere. Well, Monday night, you're not going to blend in. It's going to be all about what you do on the dance floor. And then when I get done, there's some people that will judge me. I'm used to being judged. I know what that feels like, but I'm sure standing there with millions of people watching and listening to that will certainly be something that I'm really not looking forward to. But I know my routine. I know where I'm going. I know my steps like the back of my hand. And my first step is onto my left foot. And when the music starts, if you see me step onto my left foot first, I think that I'll get all the way through it. If the music starts and I don't do anything, or I go on my right foot, you might just think, oh no, it's starting in a bad direction. It's probably only going to get worse.
Other questions? I hear Claire's got one, and then Nate.
Claire B. Lang, Sirius XM NASCAR Radio. What are the things that you utilize for racing, your focus or whatever, that will help you dance, even though dancing is totally separate from racing, but there's a lot to remember and to do?
Just determination. I think that's been the thing that has impressed Emma Slater the most, is my persistence and my preparation and my focus. I know y'all probably heard I lost a few races in a row before I ever won one, but I never gave up, and I never believed that I wasn't good enough. And I do believe I'm not good enough to be a professional dancer. I believe that in my heart. But I also believe that a lot of what I have to do during the course of this routine and these dances that are coming up over the next few weeks, I have to play a dancer. I don't necessarily have to be a dancer, but I need to be able to play one on TV. And there's a lot of times I think I'm not that great of a singer, but I almost feel like, sometimes I could play a singer. If you gave me a role and I had to learn how to sing his words, I think I could do that too. So racing and dancing are totally different in the fact that you sit on your butt to drive and you stand up to dance. And so these are worlds apart, but the mental stuff is the same. It's about focus, it's about preparation, and it's about living in the moment. Emma gave me some great advice the other day. We've been trying to prepare me mentally for Monday night. She said, when it's all over, I want you to say you messed up because you gave too much. You went too far. Not that you could have done more. So those are great words to think of and meditate on and just sort of live in over the next few days as I work my way toward Monday night.
Let's go right here to Nate, and then we'll go to Alan, and then to Kenny.
Nate Ryan, USA Today Sports. Michael, going into Sunday, you don't have any cars in the chase, but it sounds like the way you're talking right now, you're in a pretty good place. Personally, you've got a lot of things good going on, which I know probably compared to a year ago, this is a much different situation this weekend. Where do you feel like your team is and you are heading in the chase this year?
I look at our race teams as of making a lot of progress over the summer. We did not start the season off in a chase ready mode. We didn't get our arms around the new rules as quickly as we'd like to, and we just didn't perform early in the season. But over the summer, we really improved our cars, and we really improved our setups to the point where Boyer, he had a real shot at winning Saturday night in Richmond, and we've had some strong runs. So if we were in the chase, I don't think you would be talking about us being champions. And that's what the chase is all about, being champions. So we would have tiptoed into the chase, but we know that over these next 10 weeks, we continue to improve our cars, and Toyota continues to improve the engines. We can build momentum, and we can race through these 10 races and win and be ready to be championship contenders in 2015. The racing team, like I said earlier, is the most important thing in the world to me, and it's where all my eggs are totally in that basket. And I go dance and I go do TV to try to make that world more important for not only our team but for NASCAR in general. So mentally, I'm in a great place because I believe in what we're doing. I believe in our cars, our people, and I believe in Toyota that we'll get all this better. And maybe we can be a lot like Brad and miss the chase this year and race for a championship next year. To reiterate, if we had made it, how strong could we have been? We could have contended to be one of the four in Miami, and anything can happen. But you wouldn't have been making us favorites. And we need to race throughout the rest of 14 and into 15, so that you talk about us being the favorites for the championship in 15. Rob and I are both extremely committed to winning the championship, and he's the best partner that I could possibly hope for in order to try to accomplish that.
We're to Alan. Alan's good. Kenny Bruce.
Kenny Bruce with NASCAR.com. Michael, why do you think you were chosen for Dancing with the Stars?
Well, 3 years ago when I wrote my my book In the Blink of an Eye, I went to LA to do some a publicity tour, and I met a lady that was the producer of the show, and we talked, and she said, I'd love for you to be on Dancing with the Stars. So it started then. It's taken a couple of years to work out the details of my schedule, which my schedule has been all about NASCAR for Emma. She attended her first race at Richmond. She loved it. We left Richmond and went to North Carolina. She got to see the shop and how that works. Then we came to Chicago and been dancing here. So we had like 3 days of dance in LA prior to taking the publicity shots and the photos for Dancing with the Stars, and then we immediately went on the road. We went to Atlanta for NASCAR there. I went to Canada for the truck race. She met me in New York. We were in New York for 4 days preparing for the big announcement on Good Morning America. New York to Richmond, where we danced. Richmond to Charlotte, Charlotte to Chicago. I'm going to leave here on Sunday and go to LA, dance on the show. Then we're going to stay in LA for a few days and go to Loudon for the race up there. So a couple of years ago, the ability to travel around like this and meet my commitments and go to the NASCAR races like I want to wasn't possible. This year they made it possible, so that made it possible for me to dance.
Outside of what you do for racing, with the different things you're involved in, would you have ever imagined that this would have been the type of show you would have been on, or was there something else you thought?
Well, being on My Name is Earl made a lot more sense. I get that. But there's been a few things over the years that have sort of set me back and made me appreciate and realize how wonderful racing a car over the years has made my life at times. One night I was driving down the Mulsanne Straight in France in 24-hour Le Mans in a Ferrari, and I thought, okay, now this is pretty cool. If it wasn't for racing a Busch car at Bristol back in the 80s, this probably wouldn't have happened. That sort of started it all. And writing a New York Times best-selling book was another example of the wonderful opportunities that 30 years of racing in this wonderful sport has given me. And when I prepare mentally to go dance on Dancing with the Stars, it's just another one of those moments that I'm thankful for. I thank God that I had the opportunities that I've had. And there's been bumps in the road. There's been some serious challenges along the way. But my love for NASCAR and my zest for life is what's most important to me. And making a commercial with my mom, that you just don't think of those things. I don't take those things lightly. That's an honor and a privilege. The smile that put on my mom and my sister's face. My sister, for the last 20 years, has been my mom's partner. My sister lives right next door to Mom. She gets up. She's her primary caregiver. She organizes the other doctors and nurses that are necessary, the doctors and nurses appointments that are necessary, the other caregivers that sit with Mom. She has to have 24/7 care. My sister does that every day. That's her life. When my mom can't go to the bathroom on her own, my sister is there. And we shine a bright light, thanks to Jansen, on my sister and what she does for my mom. And it's just moments like that that just, you don't think about the rough times. You are thankful for the blessings that you've been able to enjoy because, you were good enough to drive a race car.
Final question will go to Dean.
Dean McNulty, Toronto Sun. Michael.
Hey.
How are you doing?
I'm good.
I saw you a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, I know. I love Canada.
Yeah. Anyway, Michael, Toyota has been down on power. Everybody in the garage knows that this year. Was there ever a time where you personally said, I'm going to go into that TRD shop and say, hey, I need more horsepower and I'm not going to leave until I get it?
We have a wonderful relationship with the folks from Toyota. There wouldn't be a Michael Waltrip Racing if it weren't for Toyota. Back in 2005, they came to me and said, we want you to start a NASCAR Sprint Cup team. We're going to go Sprint Cup racing, and we've been partners ever since. They realized that the engines have been a little bit off in the power department. They don't need me preaching to them. They know a lot more about building an engine than I do. They also understand the significance of having enough power under the hood to compete with Hendrick and Penske. So we've had some very constructive conversations. Our drivers have provided them with amazing feedback. I'm so proud of Vickers and Boyer for their constructive help toward what the engines feel like at specific points on the racetrack. This one has more power. Well, it doesn't feel good at this RPM. It feels better at that. We're total partners, and I wouldn't be racing without them. And we know we're with the right manufacturer. We believe that they will have the best engine in 2015 and beyond. And we're going to help them to continue to provide feedback so that they can get there.
Michael, certainly thank you for coming in. Thank you for obviously the support of the race sponsor on Sunday. Very, very important. And we hope that you get a lot of these come Monday night.
That would be cool. I just hope I don't get that many.
Well, you get one of these, Michael.
4, 3, and 3. That's big. I'm hoping I'm getting a couple of those. But I really appreciate everybody's support. Thanks for all you do for the sport.
Thanks.
Just a little move.
There you go.
And you got to smile. It's really important to smile.
You run our show.